Hey, what's up, y'all? My first video ever with me on it. I'm gonna be taking a song that all of our Juice World fans know as a leak, talking to the voices or talking to voices or whatever you want to call it. The studio session did drop, along with an instrumental that is high enough quality to where I can use it to bring you guys a mix tutorial where I'm gonna be trying to copy the exact way that Max Lord, Juice WRLD's engineer, likely mixed this song. He does run through a bunch of analog plugins that I am familiar with because they actually had the analog equipment and I can recreate that. But because the raw vocals were actually tracked on that, I cannot put those plugins on. But I will describe them to you as Max Lord described it to the public. Other than that, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and jump in. I'm just ripping it off of YouTube. I got to download the instrumental and the tracks, and we should be able to get going right after that. I'm going to throw it into Pro Tools. I do use Pro Tools. And if you guys want to see anything else, like, comment, subscribe. I will be dropping some links to a clothing brand that I currently own, as well as a link to if you want to get something mixed or mastered by me. I do that, and I do respond, and I'll get that done as fast as I can for you. I do work to hire, and I might drop a little bit of a do you know me kind of video later on to kind of explain that and what I do exactly, and what I have done. But yeah, let's get right into it. All right, so we got the program files up. I know that when I was listening to the vocals don't actually start until about, I want to say 9 minutes and 30 seconds in. So I have obviously the original.
Say you could die like this. They asked me if I'm in love. I said it.
Then I got the beat. Then I've got studio vocals.
I am I. They ask me how I am I say I'm high.
So first thing we're going to do is BPM to, I believe, 84. And then I'm going to put in a Autotune plugin. So we're going to start with Autotune Pro, and I believe it was F sharp minor. I'll know right off the bat here. So I know this song pretty well.
They ask me how high am I. They ask me how high am I say I'm higher than this. They say you could die like this. They ask me if I'm in love.
So whenever I've done Juice WRLD vocals or anybody's trying to kind of be in that ballpark of Juice WRLD vocals, I always go anywhere from 14 to 10, and I set this at 12. I just thought it was a good medium. So that's where I am with the auto-tune at the moment. I'll adjust it later if necessary, but I'm honestly pretty sure if we go back and listen to this.
They ask me how high am I say I'm higher than.
And then go back to this.
I'm in love, I said in love to the come on.
Sounds good to me. I'm hoping to do these like twice a week maybe, depending if I get the time, because I know that everybody out there wants tutorials, and especially Juice WRLD is a hot topic. People want kind of vocal tutorials. So as far as the auto-tune, I am starting with this at 12 on the retune speed. I might up the humanizer. So first off, I'm going to just try to organize everything. That's going to be my game plan, is to get all of the vocal chops in line, because all of these are just attempts. Get all the vocal chops in line them up perfectly, and then we can go into mixing the vocals, end up with the delays, the effects, all of that stuff. And then after I get all that done, then we can worry about mastering and getting it up to about the same. The beat is actually pretty loud. I'm going to turn this down so I have a little bit of headroom here. Turn it down about 60 dB. And yeah, so we're just going to start organizing this. It seems like this one is just the full take right here.
Ask me how high am I. Ask me how high am I say I'm higher than this. They say you could die like.
Okay, so we're close. But yeah, this didn't take any editing right there. So I can kind of align it to where I see that was in the original.
Ask me how high am I. Ask me how high am I say I'm higher than this.
Alright, so we're pretty close there.
Ask me how high am I.
Okay, so I think that's pretty good.
Ask me how high am I. Ask me how high am I say I'm higher than this. They say you could die like this. They asked me if I'm in love. I said in love like a bitch.
Alright, so we got that first cut.
I'm higher than this. They say you could die like this. They asked me if I'm in love. I said in love to the come on.
Okay, so this. separate, delete.
Old house.
There it is.
A ghost in a old house. Haunts me like a ghost in the old house. Tell me what you.
There's no way I slid that right on.
A ghost in the old house. Tell me what you.
Sheesh. So the reason why it sounds like that for all the like newer audio engineers is when you get it so close to the point where it flips phase, that's how you know you have it pretty close or almost spot on, because the waveform is exactly the opposite in certain frequencies as the waveform playing from the actual song. So it's so close, the waveforms cancel each other out, because it's impossible to get them right on, just because I can't see the waveform of the vocal that's in the actual song. So I have to get it really close, and in getting it really close, it phases out. So a ridge of amplitude this way and a ridge of amplitude this way, they're going to cancel each other out to flat in some frequencies, and it gives it that hollow sound because the body and the depth of the vocal is actually being taken out by that phasing. So in all of this, you can hear it.
A ghost in the old house. Tell me what you know about the pain, what you know about. Tell me you know how it feels to never want to go out.
Versus if I turn the beat off.
A ghost in the old house. Tell me what you know about the pain, what you know about. Tell me you know how it feels to never want to go out.
So that's because of phasing. So once I turn the actual beat off with the vocal on it and turn the beat on that doesn't have the vocal.
A ghost in the old house. Tell me what you know about the pain, what you know about. Tell me you know how it feels to never want to go out.
So it's right on, but it definitely doesn't have that phase. So anybody that's, you know, going to jump in the comments talking about it sounds like shit, hold on, please. Anyway, I'm going to move on to the next part. All right, arranged. Now, first thing I'm going to do is just do a quick mix down on this. So I'm going to get the vocal to about the level that it needs to be. I'm going to mute this one and see how it converted. I'm going to put just a Renaissance aux, which everybody does, so I'm pretty sure that would be the next step on this. Kind of tone it out. Let's see.
They ask me how high am I? They ask me how high am I say I'm higher than this. They say you could die like this. They ask me if I'm in love, I said in love like a bitch. They said I could die like this. I asked them what happened if I take 2 shots of the gin after all the perks I did. I asked him what happens if I put a hole in his head. He was talking all that shit. Damn, talking to the voices again. 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 Again. My conscience haunts me like.
The one part I am worried about is making sure all of these
Again.
on time.
Weezy out of here. If it isn't one thing, then it's definitely the other. I get so high off of Percocets, I start seeing different colors. I get so high off of lean. Everything in slow motion to me. Everything's just how it's supposed to be. So high it's heavenly. I put love and drugs in the same box. Girl, you better off dodging raindrops. Think you was finna get me off the straight drop. That's a cap, that's a hell no. Live my life like San Andreas. Let a nigga try to take it. We'll hang him like we racist. After that, we send him to Satan. Talking to the voices.
Got it. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is give it some EQ after the compressor. Sorry. It's now 2:30.
Again.
So one thing I always do, well, everybody should be doing this, depending on what the vocal type is, but in a rap song like this, cut out the midway for the sub.
The gang.
Weezy out of here.
If it isn't one thing, then it's definitely the other. I get so high off of Percocets, I start seeing different colors. I get so high off of lean. Everything gets slow motion to me.
So I'm actually gonna compress this. I'm not gonna drop it as much. Do about there, and then do a compressor. So it kind of tightens up the low end of the vocal, but it doesn't let it move around much. Which I think would be a good move on this vocal.
The gang.
Just tightens up that
Weezy out of here.
If it isn't one thing, then it's definitely the other. I get so high off of Percocets, I start seeing different colors. I get so high off of lean. Everything gets slow motion to me. Everything's just how it's supposed to be. So high it's heavenly. I put love and drugs in the same box. Girl, you better off dodging raindrops. That's a cap, that's a hell no. Live my life like San Andreas.
Now I do sometimes in this I do go by what Pro Q3 is telling me, and then I double check it like you just heard me do. I will double check most of everything I do like this because I want to make sure that it's not a beneficial frequency and it's actually logging a resonant. So that's what I'm doing right now is I'm just going through and making sure there's no resonant frequencies that are passing through to kind of smooth out the vocal.
The gang.
Weezy out of here.
The other, I get so high off of Percocets, I start seeing different colors. I get so high off of lean. Everything gets slow motion to me. Everything's just how it's supposed to be. So high it's heavenly. I put love and drugs in the same box. Girl, you better off dodging raindrops. Think you was finna get me off the straight drop. That's a cap, that's a hell no. Live my life like San Andreas. Let a nigga try to take it. We hang them like we racist.
So I think the 5K boost right there is definitely beneficial. My next step is going to be I might come back to that. I might come back to that EQ depending on how this goes, which is where I'm going to add my fresh air. Fresh air is an essential. Get yourself the Slate plugin bundle. I am not sponsored. Wish I was. I do pay for this.
The gang.
So this is gonna add.
Weezy out of here.
If it isn't one thing, then it's definitely the other. I get so high off of Percocets, I start seeing different colors. I get so high off of lean. Everything gets slow motion.
So before.
The gang.
Turn it on.
Weezy out of here.
If it isn't one thing, then it's definitely the other. I get so high off of Percocets, I start seeing different colors. I get so high off of lean. Everything gets slow motion to me. Everything's just how it's supposed to be.
One thing I like about when I work with Juice WRLD's vocals, like when I do stuff like this, is his S's are never really harsh. It's just the way he does his S's. It might not be on purpose. It might be the way that he does them, or he rolls his tongue when he says S or anything like that. All of that depends. Normally, though, when somebody's recording with me, I have to run a de-esser. In the signal chain that I'm coming in with, I just like the way that the Slate one sounds better in the virtual mix rack. Personally, that's just the one I go with. Nothing against anything else. That's just what I've run for years. Professionally, so that's what I go with. I'd highly recommend it. I think the Slate package is like $12.99 a month, but it starts out lower for the first 6 months or whatever. Definitely try it out. It's got everything. Watch tutorials. It'll really bring it to an industry sound if you can't get that sound at home. And if you want, comment below and I'll make a video on that another time. Like I said, this is my first video. It's probably not going to do well. So, but if you end up seeing this, comment below and I'll show you guys a tutorial on it. And all the different things and what somebody like Juice WRLD uses, from the preamps to the opto compressors and stuff like that. I would love to do that for you guys if you find that entertaining and useful. But anyway, so fresh air, we're going to do this. I am going to start adding in the effects because I want to be able to carve out the effects to what the vocal's doing. And then I'm going to kind of do an A and B vocal test between the two and see where I end up as far as vocals go, EQ-wise, to the original. And then just kind of carve out some frequencies that I hear gone in the original. It does seem like it's a bit thinner, but again, I want to see how the reverb and everything affects that first before I go hog wild and just start cutting a bunch of frequencies. So I would say this is a great starting point, though, but we're going to move on and try to add a little bit of processing, and then I'm going to worry about all the pitching and all of that stuff at the end. Smoothing everything out, etc.
They ask me how high am I say I'm higher than this. They say you could die like this. They ask me if I'm in love, I said in love like a. They said I could die like this. I asked him what happened if I take 2 shots of the gin after all the perks I did. I asked him what happens if I put a hole in his head. He was talking all that shit. Damn.
I might actually throw a de-esser in there just to tame it, because it seems like they have a very smooth sound. They did take a little bit of air off the top of his vocal. It still sounds like they added a little bit in the middle. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to throw a de-esser on there. I like to use the Oasis, or I don't even know how to say that. I've been using it for years. Part of the Slate bundle as well. This thing works really well.
They ask me how high am I say I'm higher than this. They say you could die like this. They asked me if I'm in love, I said in love like a bitch. They said I could die like this. I asked them what happened if I take 2 shots of the gin after all the perks I did. I asked him what happens if I put a hole in his head. He was talking all that shit. Damn, talking to the voices again. Talking to the voices again.
Sounds pretty accurate.
They ask me how high am I say I'm higher than this. They say you could die like this. They asked me if I'm in love, I said in love like a bitch. They said I could die like this. I asked them what happened if I take 2 shots of the gin after all the perks I did. I asked him what happens if I put a hole in his head. He was talking all that shit. Damn, talking to the voices again. 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 Again. My conscience haunts me like a ghost in an old house. Tell me what you know about the pain, what you know about. Tell me you know how it feels to never wanna go out. Anti perks to the got me scratching. Ain't no such thing as relaxing without relapsing. Does someone have a pill bottle they could pass me? Damn, talking to the voices again. 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 Again.
I like plates. I'm gonna analyze this real quick and see what they were using.
Ask me how high am I say I'm higher than this. They say you could die like this. They asked me if I'm in love, I said in love like a bitch. They said I could die like this. I asked them what happened if I take 2 shots of the gin after all the perks I did. I asked them what
Definitely used a plate.
asked me how high am I say I'm higher than this. They say you could die like this. They asked me if I'm in love, I said in love like a bitch. They said I could die like this. I asked them what happened if I take 2 shots of the gin after all the perks I did. I asked him what happens if I put a hole in his head. He was talking all that shit. Damn, talking to the voices again. Talking to the voices again. Talking to the voices again.
It's a pretty good reverb, pretty good starting point. It doesn't sound like they're having a gate on it or anything like that too, or a sidechain compressor to kind of duck it. So I'm just gonna leave it as is. Delay though, they modulate. Whether it was Max Lord or somebody else, it's definitely a mod. Like, it's not throughout the entire song. My bad if I'm messing up terms. I'm trying to do 2 things at once, and it's not fun. Delay. Repeater. Another Slate Digital. I use mostly Slate Digital plugins. I use Waves too. Waves and Slate Digital, you can make a song for sure.
Ask me how high am I say I'm higher than this. They say you could die like this. They asked me if I'm in love, I said in love like a bitch. They said I could die like this. I asked them what happened if I take 2 shots of the gin after all the perks I did. I asked him what happens if I put a hole in his head. He was talking all that shit. Damn, talking to the voices again. Talking to the voices again. talking to the voices again, talking to the voices again, again. My conscience haunts me like a ghost in the old house. Tell me what you know about the pain, what you know about. Tell me you know how it feels to never wanna go out. Perks to the perks that was scratching. Ain't no such thing as relaxing without relapsing. Does someone ever feel bottle they can pass me down? Talking to the voices again, 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 talking to the voices again.
So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna set up a input. I'm gonna do reverb because it's at full volume. And then so what this is gonna do is when there's input, it's going to duck it, so it's going to compress it down to whatever you set. So I'm gonna set the ratio pretty high. So it's gonna, while the main vocal is going in, it's gonna lower the volume of the delay, basic side chaining, and then when the vocal's done, the delay's gonna rise out and stand out. That's pretty much how I run everything that I do. Every time I run delay. So I'm gonna just tune this in real quick.
My conscience haunts me like a ghost in the old house. Tell me what you know about the pain, what you know about. Tell me you know how it feels to never wanna go out. Perks to the perks got me scratching. Ain't no such thing as relaxing without relapsing. Does someone ever feel bottle they could pass me down? Talking to the voices again, 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 again.
Weezy out of here.
If it isn't one thing, then it's definitely the other. I get so high off of Percocets, I start seeing different colors. I get so high off of lean. Everything gets slow motion to me. Everything's just how it's supposed to be. So high it's heavenly. I put love and drugs in the same box. Girl, you better off dodging raindrops. Think you was finna get me off the straight drop. That's a cap, that's a hell no. Live my life like San Andreas. Let a nigga try to take it. We'll hang him like we racing. After that, we send him to Sam.
We're pretty close. There is a little bit of an EQ. I'm gonna add another one actually after. It sounds like they're manipulating a little bit more mid-air, so like...
My conscience haunts me like a ghost in the old house. Tell me what you know about the pain, what you know about. Tell me you know how it feels to never wanna go out. Perks to the got me scratching. Ain't no such thing as relaxing without relapsing. Does someone have a pill bottle they could pass me down?
I'm not gonna lie, listening to both of the vocals, I like the mix that we have going here better, just because there's a little bit more pronunciation, there's a little bit more S going on. Now, even with this big cut right here, this is a whole decibel cut, and then this is a 12 decibel an octave down, cutting everything from 10K off, and it's still sharper than the original mix, as you can probably tell.
Pass me down, talking to the voices again, talking
versus
pass me down, talking to the voices, what you know about. Tell me.
So I'm thinking that the muffled might work better with the beat. I'm not gonna lie, but as far as my mix goes right now, I'm gonna try to improve it or put my spin on it. So I'm gonna be keeping the dynamics the same, everything else the same, but I do think it sounds better this way. Now, you guys let me know in the comments what you think, if you like the original or the way that I'm EQing this better. Now, if you really wanted to replicate it, you could do it.
My conscience haunts me like a ghost in the old house. Tell me what you know about the pain, what you know about. Tell me you know how it feels to never wanna go out. Perks to the got me scratching. I put a hole in his head. He was talking all that shit. Damn, talking to the voices again. 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 I put a hole in his head. He was talking all that shit. Damn, talking to the voices again. 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 Again.
So it's also louder. I do put my vocal a little bit louder. When it sits in the mix, it'll be more around this volume.
My conscience haunts me like a ghost in the old house. Tell me what you know about the pain.
For mixing purposes, I'm raising it about 3 or 4 dB, just to get a good idea of how it sits within the beat, and kind of fine tune anything that sticks out to me.
So, ask me how high am I? Ask me how high am I say I'm higher than this. They say you could die like.
Now for I'm just gonna create a special effects track. I'm not gonna do routing because it's only in 2 spots and it's super easy. So I'm actually gonna route this just to out 1 and 2, and just do a quick duplication of this. So copy, paste. I was hitting the wrong button, of course. Copy and paste. Same thing here. Paste and paste. Now on this one, I'm going to be putting a pitch plugin on it. You can also do it through any of the audio suite plugins. You can do it to each one separately. I'm not going to get into all that. Just for
damn, talking to the voices again. Talking to the voices again. Talking to the voices again.
This is not the right plugin. My bad. There is one by Avid. Pitch 2. This is actually what Yeet uses too. So Yeet would be more like.
Damn, talking to the voices again.
Yeet would be course 12 up.
Damn, talking to the voices again.
You can kind of see where that Yeet sounds come in if you put more of a mix on it. Let me see how.
Damn, damn, talking to the voices again. 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 Again, damn. Talking to the voices again. 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 Damn. Talking to the voices again. 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 Talking to the voices again.
Just a tad louder.
Damn. Talking to the voices again. 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 Again. Damn.
Alright, same thing for this one. If it isn't one thing, then it's definitely the other.
Damn, talking to the voices again. 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 Again, damn. Talking to the voices, damn. Talking to the voices again. Talking to the voices again.
Alright, I'm gonna listen to the original and see what else. I know there's the effect in the beginning. I just want to see where else there is to tweak stuff, but we're getting pretty close.
Ask me how high am I? Ask me how high am I say I'm higher than this. They say you could die like this. They ask asked me if I'm in love, I said in love like a bitch. They said I could die like this. I asked them what happened if I take 2 shots of the gin after all the perks I did. I asked him what happens if I put a hole in his head. He was talking all that shit. Damn, talking to the voice.
So I just noticed the delay is actually very low. It's not high like I had it.
Talking all that shit. Damn, talking to the voices again. 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 Again. My conscience haunts me like a ghost in the old house. Tell me what you know about the pain, what you know about. Tell me you know how it feels to never wanna go out. Auntie, perks to the got me scratching. Ain't no such thing as relaxing without relapsing. Does someone have a pill bottle they could pass me? Damn, talking to the voice.
It's actually louder too. He's got the delay pretty high. I didn't notice it tucked away in the back.
My conscience haunts me like the old house. Tell me what you know about the pain, what you know about. Tell me you know how it feels to never wanna go out. Auntie, perks to the got me scratching. Ain't no such thing as relaxing without relapsing. Does someone have a pill bottle they could pass me? Damn, talking to the voices again. 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 Again.
So I'm interested to see what happens during that break.
Again.
Weezy out of here.
Again.
Weezy out of here.
If it isn't one thing, then it's definitely the other. I get so high off of Percocets, I start seeing different colors. I get so high off of lean. Everything in slow motion to me. Everything's just how it's supposed to be. So high it's heavenly. I put love and drugs in the same box. Girl, you better off dodging raindrops. Think you was finna get me off the straight drop. That's a cap, that's a hell no. Live my life like San Andreas. Let a nigga the voices again. Again.
Weezy out of here.
If it is the voices again. Again. The voices again. Again.
Weezy out of here.
If it isn't one thing, then it's definitely the other. I get so high off of Percocets, I start seeing different colors. I get so high off of lean. Everything in slow motion to me. Everything's just how it's supposed to be. So high it's heavenly. I put love and drugs in the same box. Girl, you better off dodging raindrops. Think you was finna get me off the straight drop. That's a cap. The hell no. Live my life like San Andreas. Let a nigga try to take it. We hang him like we racist. After that, we send him to Satan. Talking to the voices again. 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 The voice again. Again. Again.
So there's a lot more low end.
Again.
There's a little bit more low end in his.
Again. 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 Again.
It's a little excessive, but
Again. 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 Talking to the voices again. Talking to the voices again. Talking to the voices again. Again.
so it's weird because when I hear it, it almost sounds like they're running it through a stereo plugin, but it's still right up the center. So what I'm gonna try to do is throw a doubler 2 on because I don't need more than 2. and I'm actually going to run these right next to it as a little bit of a background. Kind of get a little bit more space in there.
Talking to the voices again. Talking to the voices again. Talking to the voices again. 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 Talking to the voices again. Talking to the voices again. Talking to the voices again. 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 Talking to the voices again. Talking to the voices again. Talking to the voices again. Again. Talking to the voices again.
Tell me I didn't get that perfect, bro.
The voices again. Talking to 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 the voices again. Again.
Now it is quieter. I haven't mastered it yet. I'm gonna figure out this, separate, probably just make another FX track.
They ask me how high am I?
Do not have Autotune on that one. And then is this the same effect on the end here? Is it the same as the first?
They ask me how high am I?
It is. Shortcuts.
Again. Again. They ask me how high am I? They ask me how high am I say I'm higher than this. They say you could die like this. They ask me if I'm in love, I said in love like a bitch. They said I could die like this. I asked them what happened if I take 2 shots of the gin after all the perks I did. I asked him what happens if I put a hole in his head. He was talking all that shit. Damn, talking to the voices again. Talking to the voices again. Talking to the voices again. Talking to the voices. They ask me how high am I? They ask me how high. They ask me how high am I? They ask me. They ask me how high am I? They ask me. They ask me how high am I? Ask me how high am I? They ask me how high am I say I'm higher than this. They say you could die like this. They ask me if I'm in love, I said in love like a bitch. They said I could die like this. I asked them what happened if I take 2 shots of the gin after all the perks I did. I asked him what happens if I put a hole in his head. He was talking all that shit. Damn, talking to the voices again. They ask me how high am I? They ask me how high am I? They ask me how high am I? They ask me how high am I say I'm high. They ask me how high am I? 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 They ask. They ask me how high am I? They ask me how. They ask me how high am I? They ask me how high am I? They ask me how high am I say I'm higher than this. They say you could die like this. They ask me if I'm in love, I said in love like a bitch. They said I could die like this. I asked them what happened if I take 2 shots of the gin after all the perks I I asked him what happens if I put a hole in his head. He was talking. Ask me how high am I? 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 Ask me how. Ask me how high am I? Ask me how. Ask me how high am I? Ask me how high am I? I say I'm higher than this. They say you could die like this. They asked me if I'm in love. I said in love like a bitch. They said I could die like this. I asked them what happened if I take 2 shots of this. They asked me how high am I? Ask me how high am I? Ask me how high. Ask me how high am I? Ask me how high am I? Ask me how high am I? I say I'm higher than this. They say you could die like this. They asked me if I'm in love. I said in love like a bitch. They said I could die like. They asked me how high am I? 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 I say I'm higher than this. They say. They asked me how high am I? They asked me how high am I? They asked me how high am I? I say I'm higher than this. They say you could die like this. They asked me. They asked me how high am I? They asked me how high am I?
Actually, I can find out exactly what frequency this is if I cancel out all of the side. I don't think there's any stereo information here, to be honest, so.
Ask me how high am I?
So it looks like from about 450 to 2K. 450 to 2K should be chilling. Yeah, I mean, that's about what I was running.
Ask me how high am I? Ask me how high am I?
Smaller Q on this one, though. I can hear the S's.
Ask me how high am I? Ask me how high am I? Ask me how high am I? Ask me how. Ask me how high am I? 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 Ask me how. Ask me how high am I? 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 I say I'm higher than this. They say you could die like this. They asked me if I'm in love. I said in love like a bitch. They said I could die like this. I asked them what happened if I take 2 shots of the gin after all the perks I did. I asked him what happens if I put a hole in his head. He was talking all that shit. Damn, talking to the voices again. 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 My conscience haunts me like a ghost in the old house. Tell me what you know about the pain, what you know about. Tell me you know how it feels to never wanna go out. Anti perks to the got me scratchy. Ain't no such thing as relaxing without relapsing. Does someone have a pill bottle they could pass me? Damn, The pain, what you know about? Tell me you know how it feels to never wanna go out. Anti, perks to the got me scratchy. Ain't no such thing as relaxing without relapsing. Does someone have a pill bottle they could pass me? Damn, talking to the voices again. To the voices again. Talking 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 to the voices again. Again.
Weezy out of here.
If it isn't one thing, then it's definitely the other. I get so high off of Percocets, I start seeing different colors. I get so high off of lean. Everything gets slow motion to me. Everything's just how it's supposed to be. So high it's heavenly. I put love and drugs in the same box. Girl, you better off dodging raindrops. Think you was finna get me off the straight drop. That's a cap, that's a hell no. Live my life like San Andreas. Let a nigga try to take it. We'll hang him like we racing. After that, we send him to Sam. Talking to the voices again. 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 Again. Again.
All right, I think we're time for a master. I really don't know what else I can do as far as it goes. Versus. I do know one thing I can do though. Let's get this right. 7-band. Come on. We'll say it's a little bit lower though. Alright, so I'm just gonna master it in the same which I usually don't do. I always recommend, no matter what your mix sounds like, if you think it's ready for a master, bounce it. Master it in a different session, because you will always go back and tweak stuff when really most of the tweaking can be done in master. If it's something absolutely terrible, you forgot a voice cut, you forgot something like that, yes, go back. But don't go back to, oh, the EQ sounds off here. Correct it in the master. Nobody's going to be able to tell you. Really, that's my advice, is just do that. I'm going to master it high.
Sam, talking to the voices again. 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 Sam, talking to the voices again. 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 Again.
Alright, so now let's do comparison.
Sam, talking to the voices again. 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 Again. Sam, talking to the voices again. 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 Again. Talking to the voices again. The voices again. Talking to the voices again. Talking to the voices again. Talking to the voices again. Again.
So it's not bad. I definitely think that the overall mix of the original, let me bypass ozone.
Talking to the voice.
It could just be the file, but it doesn't sound like it has a lot of high end.
Talking to the voices again. 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 Talking to the voices again.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put that same, the same de-esser on, and they have a mode for mastering where it smooths out the mix. So that's what I'm gonna do here. Mastering, master de-ess and presence. You know what? I'm gonna do vinyl master smoothing.
Talking to the voices again. 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 Again. Everything gets slow motion to me. Everything's just how it's supposed to be. So high, it's heavenly. I put love and drugs in the same box. Girl, you better off dodging raindrops. Think you was finna get me off the straight drop. That's a cap, that's a hell no. Live my life like San Andreas. Let a nigga try to take it. We hang him like we racist. After that, we send him to Sam. Talking to the voices again. Everything gets slow motion to me. Everything's just how it's supposed to be. So high, it's heavenly. I put love and drugs in the same box. Girl, you better off dodging raindrops. Think you was finna get me off the straight drop. That's a cap, that's a hell no. Live my life like San Andreas. Let a nigga try to take it. We hang him like we racist. After that, we send him to Sam. Talking to the voices again. Talking to the voices again. Talking to the voices.
I know that I said to edit in the master, and you can, and I want to, but because I made that cut in the beat, I do want to come down here, and I actually want to take out a little bit more of the low end, because I can hear it coming through, and it's a little bit muddy, and I don't like that, so I'm just going to edit it real quick. You can do this in a master, though, when you're on your other session. It's not going to hurt it, but I don't want to ruin the integrity of the beat. And I'm trying to keep it as consistent as possible, but don't do this on your mix.
Everything gets slow motion to me. Everything's just how it's supposed to be. So high, it's heavenly. I put love and drugs in the same box. Girl, you better off dodging raindrops. Think you was finna get me off the straight drop. That's a cap, that's a hell no. Live my life like San Andreas. Let a nigga try to take it. We hang him like we race.
So I also use this. I forgot to put it on. I usually use it. It's called Track Spacer. Very unproduced. It's very old looking, but it works really well. I just forget where it is in my plugin list. I forget who makes it. It's in like some random. It might be in Dynamics actually. Track Spacer. Bingo. So you're gonna route because I do this on purpose. I keep my reverb full level because that's gonna be my sidechain run. So now
everything gets slow motion to me. Everything's just how it's supposed to be.
This is a 40 something multi-band compressor, 40 something Q multi-band compressor. So this carves out the vocal on top of the beat. It's gonna lower anything that's gonna clash with the vocal.
Everything gets slow motion to me. Everything's just how it's supposed to be. So high, it's heavenly. I put love and drugs in the same box. Girl, you better off dodging raindrops. Think you was finna get me off the straight drop. That's a cap, that's a hell no. Live my life like San Andreas. Let a nigga try to take it. We hang him like we racist. After that, we send him to Sam. Talking to the voices again. 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 Again. Everything gets slow motion to me. Everything's just how it's supposed to be. So high, it's heavenly. I put love and drugs in the same box. Girl, you better off dodging raindrops. Think you was finna get me off the straight drop. That's a cap, that's a hell no. Live my life like San Andreas. Let a nigga try to take it. We hang him like we race. After that, we send him to Sam. Talking to the voices again. 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 Talking to
I think I like my mix better. I'm not saying that it's really the quality of the audio file that I imported. I know that. But I really prefer my mix between this exact file or how many times this leak has been copied over file to file and reduced in file size. The mix sounds very fresh and right out of the studio when you mix the raw vocals, which is nice.
talking to the voices again. Talking to the voices again. Again.
Weezy out of here.
If it isn't one thing, then it's definitely the other. I get so high off of Percocets, I start seeing different colors. I get so high off of lean. Everything gets slow motion to me. Everything's just how it's supposed to be. So high it's heavenly. I put love and drugs in the same box. Girl, you better off dodging raindrops. Think you was finna get me off the straight drop. That's a cap, that's a hell no. Live my life like San Andreas. Let a nigga try to take it. We'll hang him like we racist. After that, we send him to Sam. Talking to the voices again. 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 Live my life like San Andreas. Let a nigga try to take it. We'll hang him like we racist. After that, we send him to Sam. Talking to the voices again. 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 Again.
Alright, so the last plugin on my chain for this mix is going to be FGX. This is just going to make sure if I need to add a little bit more compression or I need to bring it up to the standard. I did leave ozone at negative 1.0 or 0.10 dB of headroom. I'm going to bring this one up to, no, actually it's 1 decibel of headroom that comes from ozone. I'm going to boost it so I get the extra 0.9 decibels out of FGX, and I can control a little bit more of the LUFS, the compression of the track, and stuff like that. So this is, the ceiling here is negative 1 dB. I'm going to push that up 0.9 dB here and make sure that my LUFS stays around the same area, which I'm hoping on this track to honestly get to about 9 to 8. I'd be happy with. So we're going to try to do that without absolutely crushing this track.
Talking to the voices again. Talking to the voices again. Talking to the voices again. Again.
Weezy out of here.
If it isn't one thing, then it's definitely the other. I get so high off of Percocets, I start seeing different colors. I get so high off of lean. Everything gets slow motion to me. Everything's just how it's supposed to be. So high it's heavenly. I put love and drugs in the same box. Girl, you better off dodging raindrops. Think you was finna get me off the straight drop. That's a cap, that's a hell no. Live my life like San Andreas. Let a nigga try to take it. We'll hang him like we racist. After that, we send him to Sam. Talking to the voices again. 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 Again.
I honestly don't know if that's going to get crushed anymore. We might be sitting at 10 dB. And that's okay. It sounds good, and that's all that matters to me. So what I'm going to do, I think this is it. I'm going to play it one more time for you guys all the way through. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload it as a separate video on SoundCloud and YouTube as like a high quality version. So if you guys want to go check that out, it'll be up right after this video. It might even be up before this video because I have to do all my editing and stuff like that. And I am learning. This is my first video. I'm sorry if the audio quality isn't coming through, if it cuts out at times. I'm really just winging this and seeing if it gets a response from the Juice WRLD community and the mixing and mastering community as, you know, something that people would want to watch. You know, I do this professionally, but something like this where I'm videotaping and having to concentrate on a bunch of different things is difficult for me, is different for sure. And I just want to know what you guys think. So please leave a comment. Please like, please subscribe. You know, it helps a lot. I eventually want to start making money off of these videos, working on my own music and working on some clients' music that they approve and stuff like that. You know, just let me know. Let me know in the comments below. I'm gonna play this all the way through, and we'll see how it sounds. I'm excited. This came out pretty good for just rearranging studio files. All right.
Ask me how high am I? They ask me how high am I say I'm higher than this. They say you could die like this. They ask me if I'm in love, I said in love.
I'm sorry guys, this is way too loud. That was my fault.
They ask me how high am I?
Okay, that's a lot better.
Ask me how high am I? They ask me how high am I say I'm higher than this. They say you could die like this. They ask me if I'm in love, I said in love like a bitch. They said I could die like this. I asked them what happened if I take 2 shots of the gin after all the perks I did. I asked him what happens if I put a hole in his head. He was talking all that shit. Damn, talking to the voices again. 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 Again. My conscience haunts me like a ghost in the old house. Tell me what you know about the pain, what you know about. Tell me you know how it feels to never wanna go out. Anti perks to the got me scratching. Ain't no such thing as relaxing without relapsing. Does someone have a pill bottle they could pass me? Damn, talking to the voices again. 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 Again.
Weezy out of here.
If it isn't one thing, then it's definitely the other. I get so high off of Percocets, I start seeing different colors. I get so high off of lean. Everything gets slow motion to me. Everything's just how it's supposed to be. So high it's heavenly. I put love and drugs in the same box. Girl, you better off dodging raindrops. Think you was finna get me off the straight drop. That's a cap, that's a hell no. Live my life like San Andreas. Let a nigga try to take it. We hang him like we racist. After that, we send him to Sam. Talking to the voices again. 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 Again.
Alright guys, and that's it. I'm going to do a little bit more tweaking. Just little stuff that I have to do with all my different headphones. And then this will be right out to you guys, and you guys, you know, blow it up, and let's grow this channel. You know, I'm really excited about doing this. I've wanted to do a YouTube channel for a while, so anyway, Tank is out. I hope you guys like this mix. I hope you guys like when I do this. If you guys want me to shorten the video up, go through, you know, I could speed up the arranging to, you know, 2 minutes in like a fast forward mode. But if you guys like seeing me build it, then please let me know below. And yeah, next 2 a.m. sesh, definitely gonna tap in with you guys and let you guys see what I'm doing. I'm thinking about doing the 27 Club song next. Maybe try to find some Yeet stuff, because I've worked on some Yeet ad-libs in the past from different clients. So I'd love to show you guys that. Yeah, just leave me a comment and subscribe. Thank you.